Jai Ma. Jai Ma. So I am a practitioner of Shaktiism. But I am a teacher of Trika, of Kundalini, of different paths, including Vajrayana. We do comparative mysticism. We study all kinds. Essentially, even though I follow the path of the mother, I am a hacker. Does that make sense? I am not interested in dogma or creed or rules. They are meant to be broken. First of all, I'm a hacker. Okay? That means I do not treat anything as gospel. I question. What is the experience I'm having? So today, I want you to remove everything you think and leave it outside. Okay? Promise me? Just empty yourselves and allow whatever comes to fill you in a new way. And you don't know what will happen. We don't know, right? Something magical might happen. Something wonderful might happen. And then I want you to go back and look at the beliefs you have, the world you live in, with new eyes. Okay? Agreed? This is the only agreement I want from you today. That you're open, not to my suggestion, but to what I'm asking you to imagine and visualize and think about. This is the agreement we have? We all agreed? Yes. Right, good. I'm done. Okay, this is a master class. So there's part lectures, part experiences, and part meditation. Okay, so it's like a soup. So even if you don't attend any of my classes, you will learn enough today to open your third eye. Okay? And I have taught this to, I would say, about 6,000 people worldwide, right? And initiated all of them, right? And at least 900 follow me actively, and 140 like mad people, like these mad people. They hang out. And my philosophy is that I teach you to be your own guru. That's number one. I'm also completely shameless, right? So our philosophy also includes a catchphrase, excuse me all people who are sensitive, which says, fuck it, just shreem. Fuck it, say it. Fuck it. Just shreem. And shreem. So what does that mean? That means let go, surrender, stop pushing, and shreem. Shri Devi, Mahalakshmi. Okay? So Mahalakshmi is my Ishta. One of three. There are three Ishtas. I'll tell you about that later. But Mahalakshmi comes strongest for me in the work I do, in the communications I do. Except for the fuck it part, that's somebody else, that's Kali. Right? So fuck it is Kali, and just shreem is Sri Devi. Okay? And what does that represent? That represents new moon and full moon. Every time I don't teach Kali on her night, she gets very angry. But if it's Shiva, she tolerates it, But tonight we're not going to look only at Shiva. We're going to look at various ways that this third eye idea can open. So the first secret in Tantra, Vedanta, all these practices is to do nothing. Who understands that?
I guess I remember a story where people had settled around a guru and they had said, I've come and to raise your consciousness, and everybody is looking very intently to that guru, and he said, do nothing. And the entire assembly is calm. Some of them are irritated with that long silence, some of them are able to catch it up, and it's in there they find themselves.
Correct.
That consciousness.
Very nice, very nice. And that is in the Shiva tradition, that is called Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti. Who has heard of Dakshinamurti? No? Dakshinamurti in the South Indian temples in particular is the Shiva that's sitting facing south. And he's got all the rishis sitting around him looking at him, right, like this. And he doesn't say a word. He just sits. Transmission, just there, being. So at the highest level, your goal is to just be. Not to chatter, not to have how many japas did I do it right, did I do all this? No. And in Trika they called it pratyabhigna, self-recognition. I am. In Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, they call it Tattvam Asi. I am that, and I just know. So it is the principle of knowing. Even though it looks like a big fat elephant sitting there, staring at the sun, it is the idea of just sitting and recognizing who you are. But we can't do that, no? We need help. Hai na? We have too much chattering mind. We have too much agitating body. So many of you are not sitting still. Think about it. Why am I not sitting still? Some of you are sitting still by force. I am a yogi now. I have to sit still. But true yoga is just being. Do I look like I'm forcing myself when I sit here? When I stare at you? When I laugh? I'm not. There's nothing forced about this, right? So, first step is, the ideal is I just want to be. Okay? But we'll get there by opening our third eye. Because what you're going to find out is that when you get all these siddhis, and when you get the third eye, and when you open your heart and the hridaya, and the siddhis come, you will want nothing. Isn't that weird? You will start by wanting. Money, this, that. But when you come to it, you're just going to sit there and want nothing. And you'll be fully happy, and you'll get everything. Isn't that weird? You'll get everything, right? So, if I can't do nothing, the highest thing I can do is chant Om. So let's start with that. Om was first explained in a scripture that's at least 3,500 years old, if not 5,000, called the Mandukya Upanishad. Everybody's heard of the Mandukya Upanishad? So the Mandukya Upanishad is one of the 10 primary Upanishads that were written after the Vedic period as an explanation of how to live the Vedic life, how to think about the Vedic life, right? The Upanishads. So their primary ones are Katha, Kathopanishad, Isha Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, all the Chandogya Upanishad. These are all the Upanishads, right? This one, Mandukya, is dedicated to Om, only about Om. And it explains that it talks about three worlds. What does Shiva have when you put his thing? His bhashyam. What do you do? Three worlds. What is in his hand? How many spikes? Three. He is the conqueror of the three worlds. Who is the greatest goddess from Parvati comes down? Tripura Sundari, right? Tripura Sundari. She of the beautiful one of the three cities. So what are the three cities? They are three parts of our personality, our nature, right? At a very basic level, it's called Jagrat, Sapna, Shushupti. Okay? Now remember, this is Masterclass, so I am having Gyan coming today, okay? An experience. Jagrat, Sapna, Shushupti. Jagrat means the world I see with my senses. And all of us know that that world is lying to us all the time. No? Forget fake news. We are lying to ourselves, right? And so I'm completely dependent upon what I see, what I feel, what I kind of smell, what I hear, what I'm limited. If you think about it, animals have much higher senses than we do in many levels, no? Yes. But what do we have? We have this stupid head that calculates and thinks and puts all together, no? So we're taking all these senses, Jagrat, and then we're going to the mind, Sapna. We're dreaming all the time. Future, past, what I did, what I'm going to do, right? And then the third level, I can't take any more, so I fall asleep. Shushupti, right? And Shushupti means dead sleep. Yoga Nidra. Nothing, no consciousness, nothing. And today, nowadays, most people don't even get 1 hour of that now. Agreed? Always you're fidgeting, always you're dreaming. 1 hour deep sleep, baapre, and your phone tells you, you got 1 hour of deep sleep, and you think, I've achieved something, right? So, these three states, the yogis understood, the rishis understood, were the three worlds we have to conquer. And they did it with Everybody here say Louder, louder. You. So very logical feeling, no? If I say I let go. No? Physically, I'm just feeling more relaxed. How are you feeling? Little bit better? Even just 3, 4, we did 4. 4 hours and, life's not so bad. You know? Your apana, all going out, rubbish going out, all your thoughts going out. You're releasing all your stomach issues, your bladder, all your worries, all down there, no? So, is also called Ichcha Kriya. It means desire, all the desires come from here, no? Sexual, food, everything. So, together. See, who needs third eye when you can feel like good like this, no? So the problem is, how can we open the third eye if we're not grounded like this? No? Otherwise you'll just go skyrocketing into astral planes and not know what to do. You might get siddhis and you won't know what to do with them. You won't have any idea. So you have to ground yourself. Then I come to the heart. The emotional, mental nature of my body. No? And what do? Ukara. I just came back from Tibetan monasteries for 2 days I spent there. Nice feeling, no? Now if you observe carefully, you start feeling it around your chest, on the back of your chest. And a lightness will come, like a light feeling of lightness, no? How many of you are feeling light right now by doing Ukara? Anybody feeling light? So you've grounded yourself. Now you're taking control of your emotional mind, your sapnas, and what does is stops you from dreaming too much. It stops you from looking at the future, thinking about all the horrible past you've had, and stop. Just Ukara. So if you want to control past, future, Ukara, this moment becomes precious. And therefore you're not telling the stories, all these rubbish things I did, all those people did that to me, all those stuff, that's rubbish, right? And the other side of Ukara is not too much thinking, kal kya karna hai, what should I do, what am I supposed to do, what is this thing, what will happen if my business fails, what will happen, that's future also. That's not now. None of that is here and now, right? Here, together. If I hit your heart, such a good feeling, no? Now come to your third eye, and we're going to shut down the mind. So the body, the mental, emotional, and the mind now stopping. So I'm going to go into a deep tranquility now. Put your mind here in your third eye, in between your third eye, and the sound of the third eye opening is, in this mandukya, is Om. So feel it vibrating in your nose bridge here. Now, let it drift off. Allow it to drift, drift, drift with your breath out, and just go into the nothingness for a moment. How quiet it is, no? You're the observer, watching. Imagine you're the observer. You're watching this body, this heart, this mind, almost like floating outside yourself, watching yourself, no? Now we combine all three equally. And now hold it out and allow yourself to watch. We call this state the ultimate state of that Vedanta, Turiya. It means the fourth state of consciousness, Turiya. So Turiya is what happens when your third eye opens. Turiya. Om. Do it again. So the mistake we make is we think we have to carry it long. No. You want equal to to U, to and then silence. And hold out your breath in the silence. So let's make it shorter, but we do equal equal U, equal and now silence. And now hold it out. And close your eyes and just feel yourself expand. Okay. So now, rub your hands together and do that same exercise we did, the physical one we did. Cup your hands over your eyes and now look and chant Om while you cup your eyes. Ready? Cup your eyes with your palms. Hold it out and stare up into your third eye with your breath out. Hold it out. Longer, longer, longer. And feel shapes forming, lights coming. Look carefully. Bless you. Take a deep breath into your belly and keep it cupped. Bas, Baba. We know you got lungs, let it go. Aum, aum, aum. So, Aum is called the Shakti Pranava. That means it's not Shiva Pranava, it's Shakti Pranava. Because it is three worlds, the body, right? So we have controlling the body, Shakti. Then we release in the Turiya and we become Shiva, right? This is the principle. So, good experience? Abhi to shuru. So if you can do nothing else, all the teachings say, chant Om. Nothing else to do. Just chant Om. If you're not Pratyabhigna, knowing that you are perfect and beautiful, chant Om. Then you will start feeling you're beautiful. You'll start feeling tranquility. You start feeling less agitated. No? Now we come to Shakti. So when Om becomes things, it is Saraswati, Maha Saraswati. Say it. When it becomes Parvati or Adi Shakti coming into you and becoming you, it is Hrim. 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 And then when you act in the world as this beautiful energy, giving it out to the world, it becomes Shri. 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 Send a golden energy out to everybody. Shri. Put your hands up and send out the energy. Shri. And then when it descends into the body, it becomes something called Bala, which is like an innocence of the mother coming into being in you. And it goes from your tongue, which is Aim, to your Hridaya, Kleem, and then to your Yoni Linga, So. Aim, Kleem, So. Aim, Kleem, So. So feel it. Touch your tongue. Aim, Hridaya, Kleem, and then Yoni Linga. Just put a little pressure. So. And then what Kundalini Ma wants you to do is to reverse it. So you now lift it up and you say So. Kleem, Aim. So we do it in one full circle. Aim, Kleem, So. So, Kleem, Aim. Isn't that beautiful? And the more you do it, the more it rises, Kundalini Ma rises up your spinal cord and comes to Agya and awakens. And so then Shiva's grace can pour in, right? So the idea is, me, I have the willpower and ability to come to here. I cannot go beyond. Then grace has to come. The grace has to come, and that's when the third eye opens and you see the miracles of all that's going to come for you. You will have beautiful, dramatic experiences on the rising, right? Prana, agitation, sexuality, all will come. You will even see shapes and patterns, but that's not it. When the grace comes, you know how you know grace has come? Anita, how do you know when grace has come?
No thought, absolutely.
That's one. What else? What happens here?
You open your expansion happens.
Heart opens. And we call that state Ananda. And that's where Satchit Ananda comes from. That truth, existence, consciousness, Ananda, Ananda. Right now you're feeling bliss. Just feel it. Anandamai, Chaitanyamai, Satyamai Padme. Anandamai, Chaitanyamai, I meditated 2 days ago in Guru Rinpoche's cave, and the first thing that happened, my heart exploded. Because all day I had been chanting Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. That was his mantra. And just, doesn't it just, me once saying it, look at it, how you feel, no? So, when you do the work as much as I have done, I really don't care for the visions anymore. I want to feel Ananda all the time. That's all I want to feel. Ridhaya. Ramakrishna used to say, Dube jao ridhayate. Drown in the Ridhaya. Give yourself to it. Just drown yourself, then you will know the mother. You know, Ridhaya, Dube jao. Who is Bengali here? Any Bengalis? Ei to, taijonne kotha bollo. डूबे जाओ, drown. बहुत चमत्कार देख सकते हो, but drown in the mother, in the Ridhaya. That's the whole purpose of this work. Okay, let's keep going. The earliest reference to the third eye is in the Rig Veda. That means at least minimum 3,500 years. And there are two references to Shiva. One is a group called the Rudras, which is the kind of shamanic, fierce tribe that Shiva was, proto-Shiva, that was probably seen in Indus Valley seals with the horns, you know, that kind of thing. The Rudras were mentioned. And then this idea of an immortal being. Does everybody know this mantra? Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhana Mrityoramukshiyamamrita. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhana Mrityoramukshiyamamrita. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhana Mrityoramukshiyamamrita. Om. We'll stop there. Beautiful, no? Oh, three-eyed one. What did he say? We worship the three-eyed one, the fragrant one who increases our well-being. Rudra. No? That means if you do this mantra 108 times, you start smelling incense in the house. You won't even have incense burning. You start smelling it. You start smelling flowers like datura flowers, and flowers will start. Just doing this mantra, right? Then he says that like a cucumber falling away from its vines, right? So I don't want to cling to this body anymore. I just want to become consciousness. Shivoham, Shivoham, na? And if you think about it, the cucumber is one of those silly creatures that just stay on the vine, holding on to it. No? It'll rot, it'll stay there, but it won't fall down. It'll just stay there on the vine. So it's saying, drop me. Let this body go. Let it go. Just have consciousness. No? And then it says, and may I be freed from death, but not from immortality. That means, let me not be preoccupied with this body, with this death that's coming. It's going to happen, right? But also let me not be obsessed of my afterlife and what's going to happen, immortality. Let me just be. So when I go, pop, karma free. No? Simple. What a beautiful prayer, no? Even just doing this 3 times in the morning opens your third eye. But from the beauty of seeing the grace of Shiva, we do it one more time. Om Triyambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhana Mrityora Mukshiyamamrita. Okay. So I'm going to ask you now, I'm going to now be hacker, right? And I told you in the beginning, I am shameless and useless, right? Bandhana always tries to correct me. But the question is that we are always asking this question, now who the fuck am I? Right? And why am I here, Why am I stuck in this job? Why am I doing all this rubbish? And the question comes, especially for if you want to open your third eye, that are you a slave or are you free? Who thinks they're free? Let's explore. Why are you free? Because you think you are free. That's a good one. But when binds come, how do you react? Your family, your elderly parents.
Just flow with it.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
Free, if we think from a, we don't have to control the freeness, the freedom. We just have to flow.
So you try and just observe every situation as it comes, and let it unfold as it will unfold.
Right.
Interesting concept. You are superhuman. Because most of us can't do that, right? Agreed? We have emotional attachment. We have needs. We have fears. Most of us are driven by those kind of things, no? So the purpose of this kind of sadhana is to be as free as much of the time as possible, right? But choose to live in the world. What he's saying, I choose to do this job. I choose to look after this family. I choose to be a father, a mother. I choose, not I have to. See, the problem with karma is I have to do something, bas, you're a slave. The moment you use the word I have to do something, you're a slave. I have to go to work this morning. How many times we say that, no? You're ready to be free, no? I have to do this. I have to do this family visit. I have to do these things with the family. I have to do, how many things in the day we say I have to? Anna? So all this sadhana is asking you to do is to say, no, I choose. I get up and I'll say yes. Okay. There'll be struggle, there'll be some problems, but it's okay. Right? So it is called the yes mindset, which is saying yes. Not thinking that, do I have to do this? That person will borrow money from me and never give it back. It's true, they probably won't. But you can set terms and conditions, you can do paperwork, you can do other things also to correct that, right? It's very difficult with my brother or somebody like that, But think about it, right? In a typical day, how many times do you find yourself saying, I have to do this here? Think. How many times? Many times, sir? What's your name?
Vishal.
Vishal. How many times in a day do you find yourself saying, "Arey, mujhe ye karna padega, I have to"?
Many times.
So what Turiya allows us to do by doing Om is to become the observer that's watching me choose. You understand? So one of the first attributes of a third eye opening is that ability to choose and observe you choosing. before you make your stupid thing you're going to do. You are going to do the stupid thing, but now you have nipped it in the bud before you do the karmically stupid thing. Because the karmically stupid thing is thinking I have to do this, saying I have to do it, coming with a grumpy face like this to office, no? If I instead, the practice we use in Tantra and Shakti is, I'm going to eat this food, oh God, I have to eat this food, right? That's the first thought. They cooked this rubbish again. I'm going to restaurant, I'm getting out of here, right? Why can't we order from the takeout? Why can't we get takeout? So you're looking at the food. So what I do is I take the food and I give it to the mother. I say, you eat. Now by doing that, first of all, I slim down. That's good because she's eating half the food and I only eat a little bit. So there's a goddess we worship in Tantra called Matangi. Matangi is the one that eats the morsels and sings the songs. So she's Sonia. And she is the most beautiful singer. She's like parrot, everything she sings is for the Divine Mother. But she'll only eat the morsels left by the mother. Now think about that, right? People say, be a karma yogin, give everything to the divine. Kitne log karte hain, right? But if you really believe that this is alive, you will feed them, right? Some in India, in Bengal, they feed the Ma, right? Ramakrishna used to feed Ma Kali, literally, and he believes she ate it. So this is how we choose. Okay, forget devotional practices like that. Just choosing, yes. I'm doing this job now. I'm going to move to a better job in 6 months, but right now I'm here. So let me choose to do it well. No? This is how to use your third eye intuitively to choose. Okay? Good one, no? Now, the other thing about third eye, which everybody is always fascinated by, I never stop getting questions about this, is siddhis, right? Powers. So first of all, can I see another world? Will I see, Shiva Loka? Will I find myself with Babaji? Will I go to this? Will I do that? That's a big one, no? People have this desire, right? Then they say things like, will I experience something? Will I do this? No? So the question is that, is there a magical reality just on the other side? Isn't that what you're all wondering? Think about it. But what does that tell us about your mind right now?
This is not magic, somewhere else.
Grass is always greener, no? In fact, most people hope that when they go to that heavenly lokas, it will be the same as here but with 5-star luxury. And they might have a Mercedes Benz or whatever they wanted. They'll go and get all that. But the reality is that, and I'm going to let you into a very deep secret here, that when you wake up, you go to nothing. Vast emptiness. There's nothing there. Just consciousness. Just intelligence. Can you handle that?
That becomes overwhelming.
Huh?
That becomes overwhelming. That there's nothing to actually entertain the mind.
Scary.
Very long.
In Kali Dash Mahavidya practices, we call it coming to the edge of reality. Right? There's a god for that, right? It's called Bhairava, Kala Bhairava. Right there. That's at the moment you're about to jump and you're terrified. Who comes? Bhairava, right? Bhairava comes. And Bhairava plays a movie of all your fears for 10,000 lives instantly, to you. And you shit yourself and you leave. Bhairava Yatra. Kala Kalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tanno Kala Bhairava Prachodayat. Kala Bhairav. And then the Dash Mahavidyas are different gradations of that fear. So, Kamala is the fear of poverty and not having, right? Kali is the fear of death. And all the in-betweens are the Dash Mahavidyas, all the fears, 10 fears, right? That's why Tantric puja of those Dash Mahavidyas is very secretive, very powerful and corrupted in India, right? Used by politicians and rich people to get power because they're trying to control the fear spectrum, right? And really it's just pure psychology, but it's powerful psychology, right? So, if I come to the edge, am I willing to tip over and no matter what I get, I'm willing to go? That's what you have to ask yourself. That if I help you open your third eye today and you come to the black hole that's coming, do you want the golden light before or do you want to jump into the black hole? If I hold your hand, you'll come with me?
Well, of course, I would want the golden light, but I know, intellectually, I definitely know that jumping in the black hole would be the...
So, look, the reality is that when you die, you're going to do that. You're fucked either way. That's guaranteed. You're screwed, right? This is all over. Bhairava is waiting there for you. Hello, Buddha. Aja. So, what Tantra is saying, which is the really good part of Tantra, is saying, die now. What are you scared of? Go. And suddenly what happens? You become fearless. Like me. Very little I'm scared of. Maybe a cobra. I don't want to get bitten. But then I'm cautious. I know what to do. Right? So I'm not fearful like in, oh my God, my whole life will be over. What will happen to my daughter? What will happen to my this? What will happen to my that? What will happen to blah, 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 blah. That's what Bhairava is showing you, the movie. Right? Bhairava is saying, if you die now, your life will be amazing. He's laughing out loud at you. You idiot. You think this is life. So the reality is that I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine what you would be like if you were completely fearless. Close your eyes and just imagine, put a black cloth in front of your eyes, paint it black, make it like a black velvet cloth. Put a few numbers on it, 1, 2, 3, 4. See the white numbers, 5, take them off, put it back, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take the number 10 off, put it down. And just relax and look at the blackness. Imagine you had no fears at all. What would you do in life? What would you start? What business would you start? What would you tell the people that are controlling you? What would you do with fearlessness? Think about it. Paint a picture. Now I want you to take that black cloth and cut a slit. And suddenly white light is coming through that slit, like a vertical slit. Close your eyes, try it. Put your head through the slit. Enter the cosmic womb of the mother. Now she's saying to you in this white light, I am Saraswati. Whatever you want, we can paint a new picture. You want to do it? I am Vada Vada, Bhagavadini, Swaha. No? I want to paint a new picture. What is the new picture you want to paint now that you're fearless? Paint it. I want a better life. I want a better job. I want better harmony, relationships with my parents or my lover or my friends. I want the world to be less intolerable towards me. I want to kind. What do you want? Paint that picture, no? Now I want you to imagine a big golden door. And when I count to 3, you're going to open the golden door and Mahalakshmi will make it come true. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Open the door and see the golden light come. So beautiful. Shreem, 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 Om, Shreem, Reem, Shreem, Kamale, Kamlale, Prasida, Prasida, Shreem, Reem, Shreem, Om, Mahalakshmi Namaha. And let us show you how it will be. And now take it to your Hridaya and say, Ma, you make it happen now. I'm fearless. I'll do it. Let it go. Now it's not so bad when you do it that way, is it? How many of you imagine yourself completely fearless? Share with me. Open your eyes. Puva, let's hear you.
I mean, it just felt like that things were happening, but without the... Things were happening easily. I mean, I think I carry a lot inside me, and yeah, I felt that was not there. Maybe a little bit. Now when I'm back,
Hey,
but yeah.
Now you're getting the luggage back.
Yeah, I'm getting like
You know, you can only stay in La La Land for so long, then you come back and oh fuck. So, what's the sadhana here? The sadhana here is to go to that state often, become fearless and come back, right? And slowly it'll become habit. Then you will stop doing all the rubbish you've been doing. But slowly. Don't be in a hurry. Don't expect it to immediately miracle bang, you're off, right? So what did I do? I guided you on a beautiful Tripura journey, didn't I? What did I do? Did you notice? Anybody observe that? Or you saying, ah, yes, now I get it, right? We started with black of Kali, the fear of the unknown, the stomach, the yoni, all that fear. We went to the white light of beautiful up here bang, white light, right? Of possibilities. We then went to the golden heart opening of Lakshmi, and into that we started to paint a picture of what we're going to do, right? In this new world that we want to create. And then we took it down to our heart and surrendered it. So part of the practice of the third eye is to see your Ichcha, your Sankalpa, but then to surrender it after, not hold on to it, right? This is the key of the secret formula. So I'm going to give you the secret formula for Sankalpa. Prana, Tejas, fire, power, Ojas, allow the fire to become mind, see it, right? And then surrender, Laya, out. Surrender it to her, right? It's a beautiful idea, and it's how I work. That's how I achieve tonight with all of you. That's how I achieve my traveling. That's how I achieve what I do, is that I don't do it for me. I have the Sankalpa in me, but then I let go. Look at it how magically Natasha and all managed today. I didn't have to do anything. Yeah, few nudges here and there, but what did I do? I just showed up like a pretty boy. Natasha, you made me look good. All right. So, there is a magical reality out beyond there, but it's not what you think. Get it? But you can have gold in the meanwhile. I'll give you golden light. We'll go through the golden light, but then eventually you'll have to jump in. Okay, agreed? So the other one is, can I participate in that magical reality? Now, how many of you felt helpless when you went into the golden room? You didn't think you could do anything. It was just happening to you like a movie. Did you feel like that? How many of you felt like it was just watching a movie? Like I have no control. So the next thing of Sankalpa is, can I participate? Sometimes we call that lucid dreaming. One of the parts of awakening third eye is increased dramatic intuition and lucid dreaming. That means my dreams now are parallel universes. I solve things there. I make things happen. I get lectures from ancient beings. They come and give me lectures regularly. And some of my teachers are big fat African women. Very strange archetype, because I was born in Africa, so it's like that. No? And then can I bend reality to experience this magic? So did I manifest all of you? Think about it. All of you, for some reason, responded to a thing you saw, felt something you saw, but it was a sankalpa of mine that went out. And all of you responded. So I bent reality, didn't I? And you all came. Now you'll all go away and you'll think, oh, that was interesting. Some of you will want to go further. Some of you will say, how nice. Goodbye. It's okay. I don't mind. You know what the thing about this work is, that I really don't care. Does that make sense? No, I really don't care whether you stay or not. I really don't care whether you will love me or not. I don't care whether I want to give you something. Love, knowledge, compassion. But I don't mind if you don't give it back to me. I don't care.
What does it, when we are actually bending reality or we want to manifest something, okay, in the language of Tantra, what does it mean to let go? Because many times we tend to intellectualize it, okay, and we're trying to...
It's a very simple philosophy. It's a very simple philosophy.
Yeah, because
I'll tell you what it is. I'll answer it right away. I am not doing this. Not me. I am just a vessel for something beautiful coming through me. That's all. Once you think like that, you get your ego out of the way. Because then that will decide, the higher power, your higher mind will decide what to do, what is karmically correct, what is correct, whether it's kind. Vandana said very sweetly, I'm a very generous person. I was a notoriously selfish bastard. Right? I've been forced by the mother to become generous. Right? Because I found that if I'm generous, I get so much blessings, so much hridaya, so much ananda, so much love, so much compassion, so many beautiful people loving what I do. How can I keep doing narcissistic shit? I can't. No? I can't think about me. Because I actually get joy seeing you something happen to you. Weird, no? So first choose and then do it as if you're just a vessel. Let it flow through you. Don't try and say, no, I do it devotion to the mother, I put it to her feet. No, please. You think she cares? She wants to see you open heart. Just doing. You. I'm scolding you. You're meant to do great things. Okay, sorry. I've been telling her to teach for the last 3 years. She's resisted. So I'm going to force her now. All right. So, is there a way to download guidance, information? Right? That is next question I'm asking you. Right? The answer is yes. Because when you have samatha, when you have clarity, when you have balance, when you are in the ananda, the message of the divine does not come in words. It's not a lecture from a, hello, I am here to advise you now. It's not going to be like that. Right? It's a feeling. It's a sensory experience. It's going to be a feeling. And that will answer your question even if you have doubts. You will know. Like for example, every morning I'll sit down and I'll say, should I do this? And then I just sit. If my heart goes, yay, I'll do it. If my heart says, nahi hoga. And sometimes I use willpower and I do it anyway, all fails. So I've learned that do not listen to this higher power in you. Listen to this intuition. So third eye opens intuition for sensory answers to come. So for example, I'll be walking and I'll go to Lodi Gardens and a dog will come and tell me something. That's it. I didn't know what, I wasn't expecting that. Or I'll see a little child, a girl child, and she'll have something for me. Or I'll see an old woman. Normally the goddess comes to me in these forms. Some old woman will come, you know. And that's how it comes. It's never going to come like you think. There's no lecture happening at night. How to do your business. You already know how to do what you're going to do. You're just asking permission of higher self to do it. And so you listen, you feel, no? I wanted to show you this because this is what my third eye opening gateway looks like, the one on the right, okay? So when I go into these states of consciousness, this is the portal before the void. Does that make sense? So when I approach it, it feels like that first picture, as if I'm trying to go to a gate. But when I get to the gate, it's overwhelmingly ecstatic. And at that point, that's what I call it, 1,000 suns. It's like, you know. And then immediately I go into ananda, tranquility and darkness. Right? And then space-time stops. It might be 1 minute, it might be 30 seconds, it might be in half an hour. That's what we call samadhi, right? But there's no me. So this gateway that you can have experiences of is the last state before the ecstatic union occurs. And then once that union occurs, there's nothing there. To answer your question, but what there is immense intelligence to download. So I do a practice with my students where I say, when you're there and you're coming back, don't think of it, oh my God, I'm leaving, I'm going back to the horrible world. Don't think that. No. Okay? Turn around and paint a new picture. Choose a new choice. No? Don't come back and go, I saw, Vaikunda, I saw Himalayas, I saw everything. Now I'm here. I hate my mother, I hate my father, I hate my family. But think about it, we do that, no? We come back and then we have to go to breakfast table and listen to all that rubbish they're going to talk about. And you think, I was in samadhi and now I have to listen to this. So we get disgusted, right? We start acting like I'm better than you. Karma comes. Mother will slap you at that point. So the thing is that, why are you so helpless when you go to that place? Ask. Have a wish. Ask it. If a goddess comes to you, how many of you have seen a vision of a goddess or a god or a saint come to you? Come on, you're all here because some of you have seen that, right? You've seen it? Anybody else has seen one? Did you talk to them? Did you ask them, what are you telling me? One of my first ecstatic dreams I had, I saw this old Bengali dhoti wearing man, right? And he and I had a good dialogue. He taught me some mantra, he taught me a mantra actually. And I came back and I didn't know who it was, I'd never seen him before. And then I went to see Yogi Raj. And Yogi Raj was looking at me and he says, you have seen Bama Khepa. So I said, who is Bama Khepa? And he said, the saint of Tarapith, Ma Tara. Right? So I never known that. So I went and looked on the internet who was Bama Khepa. And it was that swine. Now, was it psychically something I'd seen before and I'd then forgotten, so it became a picture in my head? Or was it an actual transmission of me going to a different level of consciousness and tapping into knowledge? I don't know. But do I question that? No. because I got mantra from him. And that mantra was verified by some other jackass later. That it was the mantra to Ma Tara. Okay, chalo. Because we don't know that there are these Bija mantras that come, right? And I'll tell you, I'm like Guruji Amritana, I'll give you all the mantras free. It's cream, cream, home. Right? I had never heard that mantra before. I didn't know what it was. So then I went to Tarapit and I saw the saint and I asked the Purohit and I said, cream, cream, home, cream, cream, home. And he was looking at me like, who gave you? You know. And so the father then initiated me and that was different. So I ended up becoming part of the lineage because I already knew the mantra. It was very strange, right? How it works. And the same thing happened just now. I went to see Siddha Lakshmi and I'd never seen Siddha Lakshmi before. And I knew the mantra. I studied it, but it was just coming out while I was there with her, you know. And the Purohit said, you teach me now. Me? I don't even know Sanskrit properly. What am I going to teach you? Okay. But he said the rasa, how to feel it, how to give it. So this is what happens when you do this work. But my philosophy is this, okay? The magic is there, but you've got to let go of your ego. You've got to let go of your control. You've got to let go of your fears. You've got to let go of all these things. Then it'll happen, you know? All right, how's everybody doing? I'm sorry I'm going well over time. Would anybody like to ask me a question?
So when you're talking about...
If you want to relate to me, you have to feel me, baby, feel me. You can't just...
I need that adhikara.
You can't intellectually be working with me. You have to feel me.
I have to take your adhikara for that to come
No,
closer to
you're
you.
already taking it. Sorry, I'm going to slap you in a second, but it's all right. Tantric slap, tantric slap.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So like you had just a while back it said that you visited the Tibetan cave and you had done that mantra japa. A similar experience that happened a long time back was where I just saw the dream of the mantra of Vajraguru, Guru Rinpoche, and ever since that I have been chanting that mentally a lot many times.
Good.
But I have, and since I have a mystic in front of me, so I would like to know essentially what exactly the mantra means. I don't want to understand it intellectually.
Chant it for everybody.
Om Ahum Vajraguru Padma Siddhihum Om Ahum Vajraguru Padma Siddhihum
Nice.
Om Ahum Vajraguru Padma Siddhihum Om Ahum Vajraguru Padma Siddhihum. So like this is like the Sanskrit version and of course the Tibetan version is Om Ahum Vajraguru Padma Siddhihum.
What is the bija there? The bija is ahum, ahum. What normally in Sanskrit we say aham. Aham, aham brahmasmi, aham. We were talking about it yesterday. Aham. And it's not aham, she corrected me, it's aham. It's aham. And is down here, hum is cutting the throat. So she is asking the Guru to take me from earth to sky, right? With the Vajra. Vajra is a weapon. Vajra is a lightning conductor. So it opens, it's like the veil of Kartik. It opens the Shushumna. Shushumna. So it's like so the mudra is this one. This is the mudra, right? The Shushumna and your case and you're pulling it up, right? And Padma is the heart, has to open, right? So you're asking the Guru to take you from earth to heaven and then with a bolt of lightning, Kali, and then open the heart. That's it. All right, any more questions?
So I want to know what happens after that you have dissolved
After
your
what?
ego, you do not have fears and desires left.
No, you'll have desires. Of course you'll have desires. You'll just get really good at them.
So if I speak about it, whatever I wish to manifest and bend the reality, I think I've done that all my life, and I've got to a point where all of it means the whole point is that there is no point to it. And I want to know what happens after
okay, that's okay. I love you, honey, but you're full of shit. Because you're sounding like my daughter. Extremely privileged child, right? Gets everything she wants, Amazon. You know, gets whatever she needs, right? You know, the idea of detachment has also that extreme metaphor that you just used. That maybe I won't want anything, maybe I don't need anything, maybe I don't care, you know. There's a kind of attitude about it. I'm being terribly facetious, okay? Don't mind me. Right? So the reality is different. The reality is that you're not wishing well. You need to wish better, okay? You need to wish for others. You need to wish for the world.
I've done that, and I've manifested that for my family, I would say, because...
Okay, so good for you. Now carry on. If you got that siddhi already and you're not using it, I can't forgive you. You understand? So don't give me this shit that I get everything I want. What am I going to do? Well, please. Okay? I love you, honey. I'm not being mean. I promise you. And you too. And your secret power is to shut the fuck up. Whom must I put? You want me to do that to him? Shall I do it to him? We'll seal your mouth. So think of it. What is it being expressed here? It's a form of ahankara. No? You agree? I'm not judging you. I'm just saying your ego is getting in the way of what you're meant to do in the world. So stop it. Sorry, I scold millennials all the time, so don't mind me. You're even worse. Then you'll turn to me and say, I have mental wellness issues. You! I'm watching you. Nobody can use mental wellness issues as a tool to avoid your karmic destiny to do beautiful things in the world. You got to choose that. And that's why I say choose, right? So I've got these powers. How can I help others? What can I do? Should I start a non-profit? Should I start a corporation? Should I do a foundation? What should I do, right? Think about that. I'm talking to her. So she knows I'm talking to her. Sorry, I have a lot of personal coaching going on here. All right, so I just wanted to tell you a little story. I was born in Nigeria, right? That's me, with my mama. So I was born in Nigeria, and so it was a very weird life because so here's an Indian boy in a house with Kali, and I'm hanging out with people listening to Bob Marley, right? And growing up with reggae and African culture and West Indian culture. And I remember I smoked ganja for the first time when I was 17. And I achieved Turiya without knowing what it was, right? So I continued experimenting with ganja, right? And this was in Africa, then I went to England, and I smoked for another year or so something called sensimilia, which is a West Indian beautiful seedless herb. It's similar to the Kali herb that the sadhus smoke in Nepal, very similar, right? Now what that herb does is it removes chattering mind, removes body, and you go into a samatha, tranquility. Heart rate goes down, you can hear it. Everything changes, right? Now, I was given that gift by medicine when I was 17, 18, right? Then I stopped. But I had that state of consciousness without knowing it was a state of consciousness. I never looked at the spiritual, religious part of it ever, right? But I did read books. I did read a lot. And I remember I became an architect. I I became a designer, I became a filmmaker later, you know. So I've always been creative, right? And for me, that's how I express myself. But I also read a lot, right? And so all through my 20s, I was just consuming esoteric literature, right? I studied alchemy, I studied Aleister Crowley, I studied all kinds of things, yeah. So I was, you know, mixing and matching ideas from Tantra and everything. I was looking at everything, right? Kundalini, you know. And what I discovered was that India was the only country where we continuously researched this for the last few thousand years, you know. Everywhere else got crushed, right? So if you go to the Greek mysteries, they got crushed by by Catholic Church, by Islam. India continuous. That's why I go to Nepal so much, because it's raw and original, you know. And we have been practicing Shakti, Tantra, nature for thousands of years, you know. And it's still alive here, thank God, right? I'm keeping it alive, others are keeping it alive, right? Where it's a tradition of keeping it alive. But certain things have become corrupted, like guru culture or religions, and that happens. You know, whenever there's a material time, religion also falls down, right? It's okay. Spirituality does not change, right? So that was the big thing I started studying. And then I had a I'm amongst friends, so I'll tell you, and it's going to 100,000 people on YouTube soon. But I've said this before on YouTube also, is that I had a business collapse on me when I was 33, right? 32, 33. And I came out of a dysfunctional relationship, not married, and I got given a beautiful amount of acid, right? Anybody tried acid here? Good. So I had done psychedelics, I'd done DMT, I'd done different things, but this was a particularly beautiful trip. And you know what I told you about the doors of perception opened? I was seeing clearly these other states of consciousness, right? But then I came back, and it was 2 or 3 days later, and I thought, I want that without medicine, right? That was the challenge I gave myself, right? And then I spent the next 7 years doing that, right? And I became a viciously kind of hungry seeker, you know, like because whenever I did anything, I was like, you know, I could obsess on it, you know, and that kind of thing. And so this is a beautiful quote from Abhinav Gupta, right? Where's Snigdha? You read it.
I was like a bee going from flower to flower, collecting the nectar of each of these branches of the tradition in order to make them all into the sweetest honey in the honeypot of my heart.
This is not me, huh? This is 10th century Abhinav Gupta, Kashmir Shaivism founder, Trika, right? And he had 14 gurus, you know, and he became his own guru in a way. But he gave homage to all his gurus, like I do. I don't have Krishnamurti's problem. I will give everybody who gave me teachings their rightful place in my gratitude and worship. But that's not the purpose, right? The purpose was, what did I collect? What did I wake up to, right? And so as a result, I had this massive awakening. So just think of this. This is just a little bit of the land on which I played. Everybody recognizes, many people here, I'm sure, right? So my attitude towards it was that sometimes I'd open a book and I'd read something, and that was the answer I was looking for. Sometimes I'd go to watch. It wasn't that much YouTube stuff available then, but I was getting it, you know, things were there, right? And it was beautiful. And I started reading much more about Kundalini, about breathing, about Kriyas, and I found practices and things like that I was doing. And then I decided that the closest to what I was going to see and had been seen was Paramahansa Yogananda, right? So I went and joined Self-Realization Fellowship in '99, and I took in Kriyaban. I became a Kriyaban, but they packed me full of religion, and I am not a religious person. Every day we were talking about Christ and Krishna and blah, 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 blah. So So for me, it was very difficult because I spent 12 months because I wanted to grab the Kriyas, right? So I was a hacker secretly embedded in the SRF to hack, right? And steal all the code. That's why I was doing it. And I continued with them. I kept working with them. I did different things. But then I found that it was good, but I needed more, right? And then I started doing, so then I joined the Ramakrishna mission, and I learned, I took initiation there. Then I met Dr. Karan Singh introduced me to another teacher who's in there, who taught me the Lalita Tripura Sundari mantra and the other mantras. And so a cocktail was beginning to emerge, like all of you are doing, right? Cocktail. And then I had this massive awakening in 2006, right? And this is how the progression occurred. And then in 2006, that exploded for me. And that changed my life. That was it. So a spiritual experience, if it doesn't change your life, it wasn't awakening. Who understands that? Let's say you have a nice experience, and then you come back and you go back to the same old, right? No. That was not an awakening. An awakening is when your whole life goes, holy shit, what was that? I have to rethink everything. And then literally, I had to rethink everything. And that year we got married, I was still doing corporate work. And then we came to India. My daughter was born in India because she had a difficult pregnancy. So we were forced to leave New York and come to India, right? How mysteries work, no? It's quite fascinating. And then I met all these great teachers. Yogi Raj Siddhanath. I took initiation from Shibendu Lahiri, and Yogi Raj Siddhanath. That was my Kriya Yoga advanced programs, right? Bang. And then I went to Guruji Amritananda, and he taught me Sri Vidya. Then I studied Kalikula. Then I studied Dash Mahavidyas. Then it just became such an unfolding, right? So one experience of an acid trip, one awakening 7 years later, now I'm here, no? Now, I'm not a Sanskrit scholar, I'm not a, profound Mahapurush of lineage, I'm not. I'm just Rajada. That's it, So two things come in this work. One is the golden gates of the mother. You will see them. I'll try and give it to you today. And the other is the void. Mahakali and Mahalakshmi. Mahakali, Mahalakshmi. These two are there. And everything is a spectrum in between. Okay? And there's my Guruji Amritananda. He was a quantum physicist who quit quantum physics at 48 to build a city to the Devi, and it's in Devipuram in Vishakhapatnam. And you can practice all the rituals there, and it's run by women. So it's worth going just to see how women can run a temple. Just very quickly, we have been fascinated with the third eye for thousands of years. Everybody understand that, right? And it really originates from reptilian origins of our species. All reptilians creatures have a third eye in the early days of childhood, so they can look up out of the holes they're in to come out and receive food or whatever from the mother, right? That's the biological reason. We are descendants of serpents for some weird reason. We're like an amalgamation between serpents and certain mammals, and in some kind of weird alchemy. So this is why the metaphor of the Kundalini is the serpent. That's why you see it everywhere. That's why the obsession with the serpent is throughout human history everywhere. Everybody understand? Right? And this is what I've been studying for a while. And you'll see it everywhere. The third eye, in Egypt, in India, in Shiva, and it's we consider it to be this area in the middle of the brain called Brahma's cave, right? So for yogis, the Brahma's cave is the sacred junction which connects us to the altered states of consciousness, right? And what happens is that if you look at it, all the cultures of the world always show a pine cone or a seed or a linga or an object, right? So I always wondered, what were they worshipping, And parallel, I started studying that there was a chemical called DMT that is released by the brain in certain acid trips or psychedelic trips that is produced by the pineal gland, right? And when I started to look at that deeper, I saw the similarity between Egyptian art and early art. This was like 10, 12 years ago I was doing this research. And the pine cone and the pineal gland are key to these cultures, from Egypt to Mexico, everywhere, right? And there's the pineal gland in your brain. And it produces a substance called serotonin and melatonin. What does that do? Melatonin is sleep and circadian rhythms, and serotonin is awake. So people, like one of the biggest problems today in depression, in mental wellness is serotonin and dopamine problems, right? So if you have ADHD or you're depressed or bipolar, it's one of those two chemicals off balance, right? And that causes uptake issues. So they're not able to respond to that, right? So if you're able to balance your serotonin and your melatonin by these practices, you will never be depressed. I am unfortunately never depressed. It's very irritating because I'm Bengali. I'm supposed to be sad, and I can't be sad. It's very irritating. Very, very irritating. So, but then they found that these are the chemicals, right? Serotonin, all are very similar chemical structure, right? But then they found there's this one chemical called DMT that is available in plants that we can smoke or drink or whatever, ayahuasca, DMT, these kind of things. But it triggers a visionary state that is exactly what I had seen, right? And by certain practices of Shiva Linga and Shakti, I'm able to open that. So what the third eye opening does is activates the pineal gland for some bizarre reason, and the stomach. There are two area sources, stomach and the pineal gland. DMT is produced in both, right? But if I produce an excess amount of DMT, I have visionary experiences, right? This is a given. But it's not awakening. It is experience. It's a visionary experience, right? So DMT, in certain ways, is given to people, and it triggers solving of problems for some. Ayahuasca does that. Anybody tried ayahuasca here? No, no daring souls. You're confessing? It's okay. We let you go. It's allowed. Oh, by the way, this is a picture of your brain on LSD versus your brain not on LSD from Imperial College. Recent research, right? So full brain activation. All right, so why wake up your third eye, okay? And now I'm going to move to practices. These are concepts from the Rig Veda of what it was like to take Soma, right? In fact, my first class in psych was on Soma, right? And it was very popular. People came up to me and asked me where to buy the drugs. And I was like, okay. But Soma is an early form of, so I want you to think about it. The earlier forms of priest and priestesses classes were psychedelic taking oracles. That means they would take a psychedelic and then have an experience, and then they'd bring messages for the tribe, right? So whether it was the shaman and witch doctor, or the Himalayan shaman, or the Soma taking Brahmin or whatever, they were coming and bringing messages from the gods, right? Then, for some reason, either the stuff dried up in India or good shit ran out. We don't know what happened. But two forms emerged that took over. One was mantra and vak practices, like the Brahmins were doing, and the other was yoga. Yoga as a form of altered states of consciousness by breath, which was known to all the mountain shamans and all those people, like the Tibetan monks and all do. But it was a practice that was refined, and people were learning yoga everywhere. And all across all religions, it didn't matter, right? Somebody read this for me.
The world is full of magic things patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper, by W.B. Yeats.
Yeats. What does that mean? Anybody?
Magic, it's right there. It's nothing outside of ourselves.
Correct. So what is stopping us from seeing it?
Our own selves, our own fears, our own doubts, ego.
Layers and layers and layers.
Conditioning.
Crap, right?
Yeah.
So one of the terms we use in pineal gland work is decalcification, right? So decalcification means that if you are not careful, the water you drink, the food you eat accumulates and blocks up the pineal gland and the stomach. So you are unable to have psychedelic experiences unless you control your diet and your way of living, right? One of the key things is one of the things I did early on, there are 3-4 ways to do it, which are through food, through sun gazing, right? I did 35 minutes of sun gazing at a time, right? And fried my brain completely. So I'm a living guinea pig of my own ideas, you know, I just play with them all the time. And it changes you, you know, it changes you. And I did sun gazing straight for 3.5 months while going to Lodi Gardens and doing it every day. And even if the sun was coming, I'll have a boom, experience. And I studied the technique from this Manik guy and from Sri Aurobindo, and I used it, right? And I can teach that. It's not difficult. It's just gazing at the sun, soft eyes at sunrise, and then cupping your eyes, and adding 10 seconds every day until you start getting more and more minutes and more minutes. You know, it works. So it's a very powerful technique if you're willing to risk it, right? There's a risk. I fried my cornea, so I had to get a lens replacement, right? And so now I am an AI robot. They should have given me Google on my lenses, you know, they should have. You know, they didn't have Google on the lenses at that time, you know, like I'm waiting for that to replace it. So now I can see perfectly and I can read perfectly. It's weird. And I always had glasses my whole life, you know, very weird. So the idea is that we need to remove the filters that stop us from seeing reality, right? That's the key, okay? So the first be your own guru was the Buddha, and he said, you know, be a light unto the world, be your own light, right? You have to do the sadhana, you have to detach, you have to pull back. So yoga was also be your own guru culture. You know, you could have a teacher, but you had to practice the yoga, right? So the guru culture in early India was not a culture of permanent residency in your head. It was a culture of young people going, learning, and then going back into the world or practicing or becoming what they were going to become. That's what Gurukul meant. It was a school. They didn't have schools. Gurukuls were the schools. But you also learned meditation, you learned Brahman, you learned different things, you know. And we've kind of lost that a little bit. The guru has become bigger than life, right? And that's a big problem. So, again, remember, recognize yourself. You are the universe acting itself out here. Who gets that? You think you're a little puny human being, but you are the universe acting. But you think, oh, I'm just this little person. I can't do anything. I can't change the world. Come on. If I can do it, you can do it. Right? Fuck it, just win. Good attitude. Om, we've done. Agreed? Yes. So everybody can practice Om. If you take away anything in this class, practice Om. It will open your third eye. It will do it. Right? Sun gazing I talked about. Just quick sun gazing methodology. Who wants sun gazing? Who wants to do sun gazing? Are you willing to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and see the sun from your roof or the park? Huh? All right. Here's the rule. The rule is that you're going to start with 30 seconds of soft gazing at a rising sun for the first hour. Only first hour. That means if it's already white, UV is too high. It'll burn your eyes. So try and go on a hill or a building and look at the sun in the horizon and see it come up if you can. And do a season after the rain so that you can see the sun. So I would start in September, right? Perfect to go through winter with it. And then if you want to increase it, you can do 30 seconds, and then what you do is we're going to do a practice now of Tratak, so you can see it. You're going to cup your eyes and see that sun form inside you, and you will see the ring color thing that I see. You will see that for a few seconds. After a while, it'll increase. It'll start increasing, and it'll go longer and longer and longer. So the inner sun will be as vibrant soon as the outer sun, but the inner sun will have rings, will have colors, will have a texture and a shape, okay? So sun gazing, if you want to really experience it, do 30 seconds and then cup. But if you want to keep going, then you add 10 seconds every day. Put your timer and they 40 seconds, 50 seconds, 60 seconds, like that. But I wouldn't go more than 3 minutes, unless you're a madman like me, 35. I was going to go for 45, but my brain fried. What am I supposed to do? And during that period, my wife thought I was nuts because I stopped eating. I was like, and yet didn't lose weight. I was like solidly fit. I was super strong, right? Food, it just disappears, right? And yet you can eat the sun. It's quite nice actually. So you become more vital. During that period, I became really vital. And I was doing an experiment. See, guinea pig, right? So I started doing sun gazing and modafinil at the same time. Who has heard of modafinil? Mod alert, right? Modafinil is a drug for narcolepsy. It's used in enhanced for studying and focus, right? So I did both at the same time. My brain fried. But it came out okay. It came out even clearer, even better. So not everything happens in a kind of just, oh, God will provide, please. You are God, you have to do the work. You are God, you have to do the work. The other one that's very powerful, and I do it regularly, there's a beautiful mantra to Shiva we chant, right? Om Linga Stakam Idam Punyam Yahapate Shiva Sannido Shivalokam Avapanoti Shivena Sahamodate. Om. Anybody know it? Sing it with me. Om Linga Stakam Idam Punyam Yahapate Shiva Sannido Shivalokam Avapanoti Shivena Sahamodate. Om Linga Stakam Idam Punyam Yahapate Shiva Sannido Shivalokam Avapanoti Shivena Sahamodate. Isn't that beautiful? How did that make you feel? Anybody? Record kar liya? Good. How did it make you feel? Anybody?
Calm.
Calm.
You didn't require anything. I was cheating. And when you stopped, I said, why you stopped? Why you stopped? Why?
So this mantra is asking Shiva, the ganas of Shiva, to come and take you to the lokas of Shiva, to the heavens of Shiva, right? So you're worshipping the Linga, and you're asking the Linga to attract the ganas on the beam of light. They'll come and they'll carry you like creatures. They'll take you, right? Now, if you do this in nature, nature starts to come alive for you. So I do it regularly. I'll sit in Lodi Gardens or a park or anywhere I can go, any woods, and I chant this mantra. And after a while, shimmering starts. A bubble forms around you, right? This is third eye opening also. You start to connect with nature. Dogs will come and sit with you. Animals will come. Birds will start singing. It happens to me every time. Who was with me? You've seen it, right? Where's Bhavya? Bhavya was a regular. Bhavya, what was it like?
So all the dogs used to come regularly at the same time when Rajada used to sit. All dogs came along, sat with him,
and they used to go away after Easter.
So, one of the things you can want to cultivate, especially for Shakti work or Shiva work, is resonance with nature, right? This is critical. It's critical. And this is the mantra to do it. This mantra is my favorite for Shiva because it is so sublime, so sweet, so delicious, you know. It is the most delicious Shiva mantra I've ever heard, you know, especially when sung like this. So, you know, and it's so beautiful. Om Linga stakam idam punyam yahapate Shiva sannido Shivalokam avapanoti Shivena sahamodate. Bahut badhiya. My whole life is just one experiment in consciousness right now, you know. I try and read and do, even when I'm in family, I'm doing consciousness stuff. I'm exploring them, working with them, seeing how their heart is feeling. When I'm with somebody, I'll feel it, try and experience it, you know. It's a bizarre life that comes, and you have to be willing to try it. The other way is psychedelics and ganja, right? If you haven't done it, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this shamelessly. If you haven't done it, try it. Just once, you know. My uncle was a Lieutenant General, retired Vice Chief of Indian Army. After retirement, they came to visit me in London, and we smoked ganja together for the first time in his life, right? And because he's a whiskey drinking, you know, army fellow, right? And he had the ganja, and he was like, "It's so nice." And they never went back to it, but his son was a toker. But it's like, everybody should try. So why we do this? I tell you why we do this. We call this boundary dissolution. That means that you think you understand what it's like to meditate to a point where you're just, you know. But with ganja, with other psychedelics, particularly ganja and magic mushrooms, and you will have a bliss experience for a few hours, and it's very nice, right? That means heart rate will go down. You want to love everybody. You know, like some will have a bad trip, but if you're doing the sadhana, it'll be a good trip. So, not that I'm saying try it. I haven't done any psychedelics for 18 years. I don't need to, because I'm on another trip altogether. Learning of my own brain, going somewhere else. But I highly recommend it just to know that you can go to these states. And so it gives you a teaser, and then you try. Okay, that's the only reason. Otherwise, don't listen to me.